Alright, what's up, guys? Um, Coming to you from the shop. Well, I say guys, I really mean everybody. How's everybody doing? Sorry. Um, so, this giveaway knife here, is going to be pretty spectacular. So here's what it's going to be. It's going to be an everyday carry knife. We've worked on this thing. It's going to fit real nice in the hand. Couple of fingers. It's going to be a real nice slicer. Real nice dicer. And of course, we'd worked on this thing a little while, and it's what he come up with. It's what he decided he wanted. It's going to be 1/8 inch, 1095. It's what I normally use. It's what I'm pretty comfortable with. He was fine with that. It's going to have these palm wood and going to have some red G10 liners with it. So, pow, that's the way it'll be. And that's going to be some pretty spectacular stuff. Of course, I normally start with cutting that out. But I don't have much time today, so I think I'm just gonna glue some handle scales together and go from there. So I'll bring you guys right in here. Alright, so now this is both the backs of that. It's a good 2-part epoxy. Some of the best glue that I found to do stuff like this with. And this is the easiest way to do anything is parchment paper. You get a whole big old roll, 45 square feet for a couple bucks. I think that's an Audi brand. But yeah, the stuff wants to fold up. Just move everything over. Put the rolled side down, and it'll be just as flat as can be. So, I've got 2 things. A hardener, a resin. What I do is I am going to take about 8 seconds of each one. Roll it up and watch for this air bubble to come up. Little giant air bubble. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do the same thing with hardener. A big air bubble come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how I found them to mix this stuff. I mean, everybody's a little different on how they do things, but it says to mix it half and half or something like that. This is a 5-minute epoxy. I mean, you got 5 minutes to tinker with it, but by the time you mix everything together, you don't really have 5 minutes. So I'm going to start spreading it on here all the way out to the end. This epoxy stinks. Probably the worst smelling stuff. Now that I've got that done, put my liner down. Pick this one up. Put my liner down. Alright, put them over the edge a little bit. That was about to get loud. And I do 3 clamps a piece. Usually. And make sure it's all good to go. Try to clean all the extra up that you can, because that stuff likes to burn through the belt. It's real sticky. Some of it's okay, and there ain't really much you can do about it. That's pretty much it. Other than a little bit of cleanup. Which is pretty easy. And you're done with that part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them set. And then I'll come back and grind them all up, finish them up. All that mess. And we'll see what happens whenever they're all dried. Of course, I'm about out of time for today, and so this is kind of what it is. So we'll continue on. All Alright guys, so we left off doing the scales and they look pretty good. Good and dry. These little rubber things keep falling off. I might have to glue them on, I guess. I like to keep them on just for, the sake of, well, it's metal. I'm already missing one, so I don't know what happened to it. I'm gonna go ahead and sand these little edges off right here, kind of get them squared up. Sorry guys, I got a phone call. But anyway, I forgot I needed to change my belt out. It's kind of dirty, but it'll do for what I'm doing for it. Alright, so right there's 2 handle scales, kind of flatten back up and make sure I'm getting y'all in that. Kind of squared up, flattened out. That is that palm wood. It's gonna be pretty wild, I think. Y'all can see that in there. Kind of looks like a cheetah. But it reminds me of like porcupine quills. Is what it's kind of reminding me of. You know how them things come in there. It reminded me of porcupine quills, but I may be wrong. I don't know. So, and today I'm actually going to be working on this little jewel right here. That's going to be the knife. I gotta get me that. So let me do some math real quick on these. I didn't change the pin location, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Alright guys, so I kinda got moved. Now, so I'm going to put these scales up so that way they don't get messed up. And if y'all remember right, this was a 3-foot bar of steel. It is no longer a 3-foot bar of steel. Now, all right. That hole I'll probably just freehand in. Looks like we got a couple of good holes there to drill by. I'm gonna put in some hearing protection. You know, because of the old grinder. It's loud. It's loud, loud, loud. of it's kind of rough out. What I'm going to do now, take a file. These bad boys right here, half round. Let's see how it is. Alright, you guys, that's kind of what we wound up with. That feels pretty good, fits in the hand real nice. I'll be excited whenever the scales go on here and we actually see what it's going to feel like. A lot of this in here I had to do with the file, and it turned out pretty nice. Now I know I'm not in the line, but that's okay. We got some sanding to do still yet, so just bear with me. And I think it's going to be a real nice unit. So we'll see how that turns out. So up next we're going to drill the holes. This part will go pretty fast. I got to change the tooling out, so because currently it has stuff in there for sheaths. So let me change that out. We'll come back. Alright, so I'm kind of crammed over here in the corner with all my other junk, you know. I did buy this brand new drill press at Harbor Freight for $30. They had it sitting on a table, and I said, give me that. Alright. Let's turn y'all out. I think it's gonna look pretty good. He is wanting some file work done on this, and I told him I would try. So he wants some jimping done right there, and that's one of those things that I never really done any much of that. So I guess we'll give it a try. We'll jump and then do some spine work. But right now, I'm going to do some tedious sanding to get all these scratches out. And then that way, I've got a good clean surface I can work on. And so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, well, I've come to a point where I've skipped a little bit, and here's the finished, well, the knife part is finished. I think it looks pretty good, and that kind of nice swedge right there. Of course the sun is out, pretty rough today. Y'all can see all the colors coming out of that thing. I think it looks pretty good. Of course, it's got the red liners. It's got like a little bit of a palm swell right there. Got some jimping right there. It's gonna be pretty nice. It's gonna be a pretty fantastic little knife, little user knife. So I've come to the point where I'm making a sheath. Me and Andrew talked about it a little bit. I'm gonna make a horizontal sheath for him. My plan is to double stitch around, with the belt loop across, give it that horizontal look. So I'll bring y'all in here a little closer. Alright, so I went ahead and cut it out just to save a little bit of time. I feel like I'm getting a little better at my cuts. Of course, I'm using my Gerber pry bird. It's got the razor knife on it, in it. And so he wanted this to be a saddle brown. Which is a little bit of an odd color for a dark knife, and but he said he liked the contrast. So hopefully this will be enough of a contrast. I'm not too kind of worried. This foam brush is kind of falling apart. I've used it a bunch. Just kind of the way it is. So this leather right here is easy to work with. It's I forget, real leather. It's pretty soft, even though it is like a 8-ounce leather. I find it's pretty easy to work. I had ordered some off of Amazon, and I went back to Hobby Lobby, and they had these. They come in a roll. It's like, I forget how much it was, but I normally use that anyway. But I kind of been running on some that I've had. From Amazon. It was a good leather. It just after a while, it just kind of like it got hard. I think I've got enough saddle brown to do that. I hope. I'm gonna move that out of the way just in case. I don't think I've got any more daubers. I just hope this isn't too dark. I think this may be. No, that's orange. I keep my daubers organized up here on the top. So I've cased the leather. trying to keep it all in unison. Of course, it's kind of all scattered out at first whenever you first do this. And usually I don't record this part, but my buddy wanted it recorded, so I'm gonna record it. Usually by this time I'm all hands on deck, really concentrated trying to get everything finished and concentrated, and this just makes it odd for me. So just gonna give this a try, see how I like it. Wish y'all have to ignore my dogs in the background. And usually I don't do all the way around, but I do the inside too. I try to do all of the inside. I usually try to leave the outside edges here for the leather. I've got to try to keep all my steps in order too. Usually I get to this point and I'm like, yes, I can slap it together, put the glue on there, and be done with it. That has bit me in the past. And usually I'm pretty upset with myself by the time I get done, because I have to kind of lick my wounds and pry it back apart and either sew it or put rivets in it. It kind of depends on what I'm feeling or what I think is going to look pretty good. Yeah, if y'all hear my dog barking, she is like right here. She's one of my hunting dogs. She's my hunting buddy. She tends to be loud, proud. She's found something to bark at, and I just let her bark. My neighbors at first were kind of concerned about it, but now they're kind of cool about it. And I may be wrong too, but normally she's a pretty quiet dog. Of course, my neighbor across from me has got chickens too, so she's probably barking at those. Yeah, I gotta wear gloves to keep this off of me. I've got to figure out how wide I want to make that. I think a 2-inch would be. Hiccups. I think a 2-inch will be plenty wide enough. So Yeah, she doesn't like lawnmowers either, so they may be out there mowing or something. I don't know. She normally barks at my kids because they like to pet her, and she's just trying to get some lovings and attention. So, try to straighten these up a little bit. And then I'm going to give myself maybe another 3/8. Not quite another half, not quite another quarter, not quite a quarter, not quite a half. This is kind of trial and error on this part because I don't know really. I know that's going to work because I give myself plenty of room. My main concern is this, fitting around that and still having enough room to put your belt between it. So this is why I make templates for everything. I make templates for knives, I make templates for sheaths. A lot of the sheaths I've had, if I've made them once, I'm probably making it from a template. I should probably make some of these out of wood, but I really don't know. I've been using some stiffer board, paper board. I really don't know. I mean, that might make it just a little bit better. So I get in here and I fold this kind of the way I want it. This thing should fit pretty well perfect because it was a half template anyway. So we'll see how big this is. So that's right at the bottom. So see, it gives you a little bit of room. So even after I put the knife in there, it'll still have plenty of room. I think maybe I can take just a little bit of it out and still even be okay. I'll take an ace off, see what that kind of looks like now. So that looks pretty good, y'all, I think. Still got some room in there, some playroom. And you'll be able to fit your belt in there, I'm pretty sure. But I'll glue this up and make sure I've still got plenty of room. But I should. I've made a couple of sheaths like this, and I like them where they fit a little more firmer. Um, and that way, if something does happen to stretch, you still got a little playroom in there to work with. So I think, Ben's, this is a style of sheath like this. And I don't know why that's stained out darker for. It's supposed to be a lighter saddle brown. But I don't know. Maybe it'll dry out to a better color. Probably that dauber, maybe. I don't know. I thought I had a light dauber on that one. But, let's see. Burnish the edges on this thing. It's got a round dauber. I like it just a little better. I usually try to open these cats up just a little bit. And burnish the edge real good. As far as that, probably should have been lighter, but it's still wet though. So, I don't know, it's a toss up right now. It's a toss up. All right. I think it'll be good. I'll have to go get my glue from the house. I'm back with some glue. I use this here Gorilla Glue contact adhesive. It works by far the best, I think. It's permanent bond holding just seconds. Crystal clear. It is clear. But I keep all my stuff in a go bag. All my glues and stuff. Because I take those in to keep them from freezing. All this leather dye stays out here because it's got alcohol in it, so it does not freeze. And Windex is the same way. It doesn't freeze either. So that's just the way it is. So put my gloves back on. And oh no, that's all right. So give a nice little dab of Gorilla Glue to this side. Don't be afraid of it. So, and then I take this and kind of, alright, you gotta give that a couple of seconds there to kind of do what it's gonna do. I usually try to score this up just a little bit. Just to kind of give it a little bit of hold strength. Get kind of close. Kind of close. It's still a little bit workable. This is why I don't try to dye the outside edges. This stuff works better on dry leather. It doesn't. It tends to bond better with just a plain Jane leather. Now the only reason that you might be able to see that is if it's taken apart. If you take it apart, you'll see it. But with it together, like so, you won't really see it. So let me get some clamps. I found that if I get some spare leather this is what I generally use it for. I get some small pieces and put one here, put one here. I kind of got everything lined up the way it needs to be. So. And I give it the old clamp. It still looks pretty good. I push it down a little bit right there. I use some little bigger pieces here. Give it the clamp. Now whenever I come down to the bottom, I need to move it up just a scotch. Still kind of lined up. So then I'll trade it around a little bit. Put some clamps on that one. At the bottom is still out just a little bit. But that's okay, because we can sand that little bit off. This stuff ain't, it'll cure in a little while, but it's not something that you have to work at really quickly. So I put my pieces on here. Clamp them together, and then I'll wait a little while, let this glue dry. Got an extra clamp. I could probably put another one right there, but it's held together pretty good. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not a pro at any of this, so don't take my word on any of this, because I'm not a pro. This is just kind of what I do in the process of making a sheath. So this is set for a little bit. I'll kind of give it a little bit of a test here. I don't think it's gonna fall apart. That stuff works pretty quick. Gorilla Glue is usually some pretty good stuff. Now this does require a 24-hour cure time, but it has a working time of like 2 minutes. So I give it a couple minutes. We're back at it now. Let's just set those right there. So this kind of still gives you a little bit of that flexibility. It's kind of moving around, but it's still stuck together enough. I'm going to work it with this belt sander right here. Hopefully it's still plugged in. Y'all can see I've worked it pretty good with the belt sander. All the edges are nice and square. And so now I gotta do the edges. Had to clean a bit of the schmoo off of there. Alright. So, I've done the edges. And now, what I've got to do is really the part that I hate doing the most. And that is making the groove for the thread. I'll think of it in a minute. So I've got a 1/2 inch. I've got a 1/2 inch welt in this thing, and so I'm gonna do 1 1/8 and 1 1/4. So I'm gonna double stitch this whole thing. I usually get down to the bottom corner and stop a little short. That way I can finish that out and start out again on the top. And usually I like to make those nice and deep. If my tape measure wasn't wore out in places, I might could see what I was doing. That's a 1/4 inch. Well, let's set it by eye. Because I know this is at least a 1/2 inch welt. So So now that I've got that done, I should probably done the back side too. It's alright, we'll start out. With this one, because I know it's a quarter of an inch or better. Okay. I'll set this one back to an eighth. Should be pretty close. Now that that's done, my table moves around a whole lot, and I know there's really no reason to rhyme for it, but I normally take a what tooth is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tooth and a 4 tooth. And typically you can do whatever you want to. That's kind of what I do. Got to find my piece of leather. I use this little piece of leather right here for everything. You can kind of tell. I like using it for the drill press especially. But I also use it over here. Okay, so I've hit the corner. That's going to be too wide. I use a 4. hitting this thing real hard. I'm just mostly looking for marks. I'm trying to get the marks so I can use my drill press. And get the holes put in there a little bit better. So then I'm back to my 4 again, which is gonna fit. One more little hole. And voila. I don't know if it'll pick it up, but that's all the holes. Kind of scarred that up a little bit. That'll be okay. The biggest majority of this will be covered by this. Anyway. And that's kind of what I was looking for. So I'm going to drill these holes and then I'll get back with you.